Tommy Tuberville has been blocking seating members of our military, and he allowed like the Joint Chiefs of Staff one, right, to go, and he voted against the guy. Who was the guy? Do we have a picture of the guy? I'm just curious who it was. Tommy Tuberville, otherwise very, very sort of like, the type of guy you would think is like very concerned about military preparedness. But he voted against this guy. What's his name?
C.Q. Brown.
Oh, yeah, C.Q. Brown. There you go. There he is. Got a lot of medals on his chest. And let's find out why Tommy Tuberville voted against him.
I think he's got some woke qualities. I like CQ. I've had him in my office several times back when he was chief of the Air Force.
But you voted against him.
He's a good person. He believes in what he's doing. You have to believe in what you're doing. Now he doesn't really have any authority other than giving advice to the president. He's a general, but he's not really over the Army, Air Force, Navy. He has to just give information and advice to the president. I think he'll do a good job, but I heard him say a few things that really didn't fit with me in terms of making our military better and better. You got to remember, we have a free country.
What was it, though, specifically, Senator?
Well, we have a free country. We have things that we need to do to make sure that we can uphold, and we can't do that without a great, hard, strong military. Now, I heard some things that he talked about race and things that he wanted to mix into the military. Let me tell you something. Our military is not an equal opportunity employer. We're looking for the best of best to do whatever. We're not looking for different groups, social justice groups. We don't want to single-handedly destroy our military from within. We all need to be one. It's like a football team.
Pause it. I'm sorry. Didn't we have this fight
Harry Truman?
70 years ago, was it? It was about 70 years ago?
Yeah, I think, about that.
Something called forced integration of the military.
Yeah.
Was it 70 years ago or was it 80?
True. Yeah, I mean, now it was about 80.
80 years ago. And
like 75, 1948.
1948. All right, that was pretty close. 1948, we had forced integration of the military. And maybe, I guess that's when our military started to go down. Is that what he's talking about? He's been fighting this 70-year policy?
Yeah, the start of, the weak American military times.
It is, and let's be clear, we, particularly in the past couple of decades, will take just about anybody into the military. We were really relaxing standards during the Iraq War, and the point is that we get more people when the economy is in a downturn. That's it. But
it's interesting how he, really against these wokeness and these social justice groups. But if you talk about white nationalists, he
gets very uptight about that.
Yeah,
that's just Americans. Continue on with this a little bit.
Different groups, social justice groups. We don't want to single-handedly destroy our military from within. We all need to be one. It's like a football team I coach. You can't have different groups. Everybody's got to be together to win. There's no second place in war. And so I listen to all these generals and admirals, and we have some great ones. We have some great military people, but there's some in there that have a different agenda to make sure that they get their quotas in. And we're not a quota. This is a military that's...
But when you say race, Senator, can you tell us what you mean by? Are you talking about enhancing diversity at the Pentagon? What is it about race that bothers you about the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs?
Well, he came out and said we need certain groups, more pilots, certain groups to have an opportunity to be pilots. Listen, I want it to be on merit. I want our military to be the best. I want the best people. I don't care who they are, men, women. It doesn't make any difference. Catholics, Protestants. Hey, I want everybody to believe in the one goal that we have in this country for our military is to protect the taxpayers, to protect the United States of America. Don't give me this stuff about equal opportunity, because that's not what this military is about. Talk about making the best, training the best, and being the best of this world. Because if we're not, as I said earlier, there's no second place in war. And we live in a very dangerous place right now in terms of our foreign policy.
Okay, now, you got to give the guy his due, because put up Tuberville's military service. This is a guy who's been there. He knows what he's talking about. Put up his military record, if you will, please, Bradley. He knows it's not about, mixing races and having groups be different pilots and all that stuff. It's not about that. Okay. There it is. Tommy Tuberville's military. Where the heck is that?
There's his head coaching record. There's his accomplishments and honors. Are there any military ones in there? Or the SEC championship?
There's a lot of
Okay.
football.
Paul Bear Bryant Award winner. Okay, good.
Oh, ESPN. And, yeah.
I mean, training camp is a little bit like the military.
What is the percentage? Could you just Google this for me? What is the percentage of black people in the military relative to what it is in our population? Same with Latino. Because I'm going to suspect that it is not a woke project to say that we need to figure out a way of increasing the number of, let's say, pilots or whatever specialty jobs are in the military are from a broader section of the people who are in the military. Because otherwise we're going to have a problem. That would be what I would guess, just from a managerial thing.
There's not enough white people.
As far as I'm concerned, the best way to get to that parity would be to reduce our military and bring people back from bases. But that's not what he's talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, especially like the Air Force, which is I know colloquially as like having a big problem with evangelicalism and white supremacy. So I think that like this is clearly like the Pentagon trying to become a fighting force, and there's not enough like crazy white supremacists to stock up all the different branches with troops. And like you say, like it's disproportionately black because troops are coming from poor communities. So yeah, that's why they do it. It's not because they're trying to hit a quota. It's because they're trying to build a fighting force.
Exactly. Pretty stunning. This guy is saying this in public. Oh, incidentally, isn't he the senator from Alabama? Isn't that the state where the attorney general just said, like, hey, we're going to try and keep violating the Voting Rights Act at all costs, regardless of what the Supreme Court says, in terms of providing our 30% of our population with proper representation.
I wonder what he thinks of the Tuskegee Airmen being from Alabama.
Woke, super woke.
Or maybe it was good because they were segregated. I don't know.